In this video, I'm going to be engaging the Cyclone you see here. It's usually I avoid other battle cruisers because while in a 1 versus 1, you have a decent chance against a repping ship like a Cyclone or the Deimos or even a dual rep Brutix, you're facing the fact that they can regenerate over the course of the fight and you can't. So it's a bit of a toss-up. In this case, you can see that my cloak is, I've been sitting here for a while, up here at the timer, just about to uncloak on the gate. I just jumped into FD here. It's a nullsec system. We are actually on the second system in to Syndicate. PF would be the first, the entrance system from HiSec. So I just came from PF, jumped into FD, and we have a Cyclone here. Now, one threat when you come into a system like this, you see local. Clearly, there's more of them in local. Now, this is OSS. I've got them set red, or my alliance does, or something. So I know that there's more here, and it just turns out they live here, so I'm not as worried because what they tend to do is they tend to all be AFK most of the time, and you'll only see 1, 2, or 3 of them actually out and about. But that doesn't mean they're all docked up, because sometimes they'll all undock. So I decided to go for it. I have no idea what his fitting is at this point. I just decide, hey, maybe I'm kind of bored or whatever, and if it's just a Cyclone, I have a decent chance. Important to note that Griffin's always there, so I'm not expecting a Griffin to come onto the field because every time I've been through the system in months, he's been there. Set a pause. So I go in, I get my Newt on the Cyclone, and I decide, well, if there's a Cyclone and a Svipul, the Svipul's come in the last few seconds, it's better to kill the Svipul first because that's quite a bit of DPS that I can remove from the fight really quickly. Now, unfortunately, the Svipul hasn't aggroed yet. So he just reapproaches the gate and jumps back through. So now it's onto the Cyclone. I'm not taking a ton of DPS here. I'm going down slowly, but it's not so much that I'm really heavily concerned about my tank. It looks like I'm taking this guy relatively well, or not tanking him, but his DPS is less than I would expect for a Cyclone. So I see that I've got him near his shield peak, and I decide to overload, but then I think he overloads as well. Once you get him to about 30%, that's really the best of the shield they're going to get. So right around 30% shield on a shield tank, even an active tank. If you break that, it's going to be really hard for them to get back above it. Especially once you get into their armor, then it's just pretty much over. But I noticed that I'm struggling here, so I switched to Void. I know I absolutely have to break this guy's tank. So it's worth the time to switch to Void, because Void's going to give me an extra, 50 to 100 DPS. You can see that did it. That pushed through his tank. Because most likely he was an ASB. And now you see the Svipul is back on the field. So what a lot of Cyclones will do is they will fit just one extra large ASB, or sometimes 2 extra large ASBs. But no matter what, even though they'll tank really good for a while, once they run out, their tank just falls apart. The Svipul is back in. So now the Svipul, he's already hurting real bad from that first engagement. He has engaged me. Because his buddy's going down, so he's saying, well, I'm going to come in and do whatever I can to try to help before you die. So desperation will cause a lot of people to make mistakes. I'm switching back to antimatter so I can track him. Going to make sure I get tackle this guy because he was trying to stay out wide, it looked like. But now that I have tackle on him, he's pretty much dead. There's nothing this guy can do to stop it. He's aggroed, so he can't jump through the gate. Important note, see a Panther just showed up on scans, kind of worrying me. Important note about what's the armor tank Svipul? Important note is that the Cyclone was a rapid light Cyclone. That's why his DPS wasn't very good against me. He had rapid light, so he was like a frigate killer. I guess the Svipul was going to be the lock. Like Svipul would maybe insta-lock or quick-lock something on the gate, a frigate, and then the Cyclone would kill it. That's what I'm thinking maybe their plan was there. But either way, I got a Cyclone and a Svipul. Rupture came in briefly and warped off. Panther kind of came up on scan, but never actually showed up anywhere, so I don't know what he was doing. But still, it was a good fight. I mean, I killed a battlecruiser and a Svipul. Total value of those two, somewhere a little bit over 100 mil. It was definitely a good fight, and I think it worked out well.